But
Big
well,
man's
I got a feeling I what I'm going to talk about I feel like was what you were going to talk about, but maybe not. We'll see.
All right. Well, I'm already recording because I don't think you know what I'm talking about today.
All right.
You want to kick it off, or you want me to kick it off?
Let's hear it. What do you got? And I'll let
first
you
one,
know.
first one on the list. I was on the ESPN app yesterday. Have you seen that new feature called Verts? Have you seen that thing?
No, I haven't been on
So
the app.
okay, so there's a new feature where it's like a thing along the bottom of the app, and when you go to it, it's basically like YouTube and Instagram Reels, but of highlights of like whatever team you
You like?
follow or leagues. Dude, it's pretty sick because I remember like, and this is a weird thing to get stressed about, but I was like, I really wish I was into more sports. One, like talking to patients, talking to employees and things like that. And I was like, man, it's like everyone's all like, oh, did you see this? Or did you see that? I'm like, dude, I don't. The unfortunate thing is I don't have time to like watch all of those things, all the different leagues. And like, it's like a social thing that I'm trying to like keep up with. And so I followed all these teams on ESPN where I'm like, all right, I'm at least going to check the scores and see like what happens. And now they've pulled up this Verts thing where like I'll go in and it'll be like Seahawks highlights, and it'll just be reel after reel of like all the plays. And then it's like a bunch of the soccer teams I follow and all this stuff. And I'm like, it's such a brilliant idea because they've already created the media. Like they're the ones that have all the rights to all of this stuff. And they've got the editors already in there. And now it's like they're actually creating vertical content for the phone versus just what they're doing on like Instagram. So it's like it's a little more in depth, I think, than like what they post on Reels, because it's literally for like I was like this morning seeing like a La Liga soccer highlights of like a bunch of different goals and like plays that are in there. And I'm like, that's actually a pretty cool idea, because sometimes I go to Instagram or YouTube to watch sports, but inevitably the algorithm shifts and just starts to show you other stuff.
Right.
And I think it's a great idea, because I think there's a lot of people out there that want to watch sports or want to be able to keep up with sports, but they don't want to just scroll through social media to find the sports they're interested in or whatever, right? It's like it's just more of a barrier. So it's interesting because in this context, ESPN is the only producer of the content. So you're just basically following. It's not like I can't go on ESPN and like post different things.
Right, right.
It's basically like curated content from ESPN where they're controlling the your eyes and your flow. And then obviously they're running ads on top of this content, so they're making money that way.
And you think it's different than what they're posting on their social media handle?
Well, it's way different because it's way more, right? Because it's like ESPN might post, what, 5 to 10 videos a day? I mean, they post a lot. But this is like literally you can get highlights from like obscure leagues and like,
Right, right.
like,
Right,
like
right. Yeah,
all
yeah.
the sports and leagues and things that you wouldn't see a highlight of, you can
Right.
go in there and like you could see right from the bottom menu.
Is it only stuff that happened on ESPN or any channel or?
That's a good question. I haven't looked deep enough into seeing like what it actually is. But if you open up your app, it's like right next to the watch side, and it's just like it almost looks like the real logo, but it's like a bunch of just random stuff. Like some of it's actually from TikTok, but I think it's like this one's like
Overt.
they're like taking content from certain places. It's like there'll be some highlights of Pat McAfee. There's like a Eli Payton show. There's just a bunch of stuff, but like the NFL has its own channel and like a bunch of highlights. And then the MLB has its own channel and a bunch of highlights. And so it's kind of cool because like anything that you've been interested in sports wise on there, I think it feeds you that, which is nice. Cause I'm like, I used to go to X, formerly Twitter, for like a lot of sports stuff. But man, have you been over to X lately?
Can't do it, dude.
Oh my God. Like for the first time in ever, like I don't get bothered by social media apps. I usually just don't go into them. But X is just one of those ones that I click a lot. And I don't know how to win back my algorithm, but man, with all the politics going on,
Well, I swear it's not even like people I follow, right?
Well, because there's
Anymore?
two different sections. It's like the
That
for
must
you
be
and then
it.
the following thing. But even then, it's like I can't even go into like the trending hashtags without being fed something I don't actually want. You know, I'm like, and I try to go to sports. It's just, I don't know. And then literally you watch sports content and you try to read the comments and it's all political. And you're like, dude, like it's just infested with shit. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, it's pretty terrible now.
So you're saying this is a cool way to really just silo off only what I'm looking for and go a little more niche. I think that's an interesting thought nowadays that people might go. Did you notice Spotify has a messaging platform now?
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, if you go to Spotify and you click at the top, you go home, you click on your icon at the top, there's messages
Wow.
in there.
That's crazy.
Um, yeah, I was like anytime you text someone a song, it it will find their profile and send it as a message as well.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
And
Wow.
so I'm like, what are they trying to do here?
I guess like make it more social sharing. I think one of the big misses that Spotify's had for a very long time is that it's actually fairly hard to find. Like, I remember I always used to try to find your playlists. It's actually was pretty hard to find you
Right. So now,
because it's meant for artists to be creating these things, you know,
uh,
uh, or the Spotify people create all these playlists.
you notice they do comments now too on like your videos, but like there's not many.
Yes, because people, I feel like they hide them pretty well.
Oh, you think they do?
Well,
God.
like, well, I think
I just thought there was less adopters. Like no one's really going on there commenting. But
Well, I think that's true because they don't like really show the comments really easy, but I think they filter them pretty good. Because like on my first million episode that I'm listening to right now is 15 comments,
I know I was like,
and they have
that's nothing.
hundreds. They have hundreds of thousands of downloads. I think Spotify is just probably like if it's political, boom, gone. Which I would actually love an app like that where it was like, hey, if you mention anything political, this is just. It's not like we're trying to take away free speech. Like there's other platforms for that, but
Yeah.
and that's why I think I like the ESPN thing because I know when I go in there and watch videos, I'm not going to go down some like rabbit hole for 30 minutes trying to figure out what these conspiracy theorists on Twitter are talking about. And I'm like, you know,
Which
it's like
no comments, right? There's no comments.
no comments in the
Yeah.
ESPN.
I think that's
Nope.
it's like, dude, I'm not here for all that. I'm
Because it's all
just trying.
rage bait, dude. It's all rage bait now. It's just like some guy wants to get you to click on his profile, so he says some outlandish thing, and it's like that's half of what these conspiracy theorists are. Is just it's just clickbait, rage bait type of stuff. I don't know, man. I think that there's going to be continuing to be a swing like that, where it's like, of course, the Spotify should have like some sort of social way of doing the platform, but you have to be ruthless about just getting rid of comments that have nothing to do with like the thing that you commented on. And I think honestly Instagram should do that too, or Twitter. It's like if someone leaves a comment and the AI reads it, like Grok's embedded on X. It's like, dude, you left a comment that has nothing to do with this post just to get views. Like, get rid of it. I wish there was like settings where you can at least limit people's comments like that on your own post, because then it's not the site at least getting rid of freedom of speech, because people have they freak out when you get rid of their freedom of speech, but it's like I think there's certain apps for certain things.
I think the algorithm stuff ruined all social media because what you were saying earlier, I remember during a game, if I wasn't watching, I would go to Instagram or something because I knew it's happening. I'm going to see some highlights at the same time. Like something's already posting about it or X, right? I would go there because I'm like, someone's talking about it. But now with the algorithm stuff, it's like you to get seen, you have to do something that's going to get more comments or just and then people have figured out, oh, to get more comments, I should do something absurd or just like that makes people mad. And
Yeah.
it just kind of ruins everything that we enjoyed about it.
And I do think that like obviously like these algorithms are essentially like a form of artificial intelligence, right? It's like it's figuring out what you're clicking and liking. I really hope that like some of these new advances in AI help the AI to like tweak the algorithm as it goes to be like, hey, let's like maybe a platform's just like, hey, this is going to be like the positivity algorithm, and it's going to like we're going to downplay rage bait type stuff. Like we know when something is rage bait or not. And it's just like we're gonna downplay that stuff, and we're just gonna create a positive and optimistic environment. Because like at the end of the day, the problem is like our late great friend Trevor Moad used to say is like negativity is way more powerful than positivity, like 10 to 13 times more powerful. And so of course an algorithm left unfettered that's just trying to get the most engagement and views, um, it's one of those things where it's going to do it. But I would argue like I think it's what's allowed social media to get as far as it is today, like these companies to be billion, hundred of billion / trillion dollar companies. But I think that same thing that led to the up, it could lead to, or will lead to the downfall of some of these companies because like for example with X, it's like it's the first platform I've just been like, dude, I think I'm just going to delete it. And it's not because it's like Republican or Democrat. It's not, it's both sides. It's just like it's just people yelling and throwing shit at each other all day. And when I listen to it too much, it infests inside my head. And it's honestly probably why a lot of people are so upset out there because they just read this and get enraged, and they can't say anything to anyone because they don't want to talk to a person because they don't want to like they could talk to their spouse maybe, but they don't want to like look weird at work. So then they just get on their computer and then they're keyboard warriors. It's just like this vicious cycle that happens to people. And I think it's like it's the same thing. It's going to be a downfall to some of these apps where it's like it just gets uninhabitable. It's like the oxygen and the atmosphere slowly being drained away from these social spaces, and it's just like more than ever I'm like, dude, can I just get on somewhere that's not gonna like enrage me?
And what I've noticed also is like it's hard to even trust any information that's out there. Like I remember back in the day, I would learn a lot from Instagram. Like there's really really smart people putting out posts, and now I'm like, anytime I see a post that sparks my interest, I'm like, it's probably bullshit, right? Like they're just like saying whatever to get you like make some outlandish claim that'll spark other people commenting saying that's fake or that's not real. Um, and it's just like, damn, where can you actually like find good information anymore? Um,
And that's why I've like resorted back to like really only reading books, watching podcasts, and try not to learn from social media because
Nope.
once you've seen behind the veil, I mean, we have to do it with high def, right? Like we have to produce a certain amount of content every day to like whatever. So at least we just are willing to do repetitive stuff, which is why I think like we don't have as much traction. Although our Instagram continues to grow well, but it's like you have to just continue to pump out content. That's why I've always told like I know people who hit me up and are like, "Oh, have you seen what like the latest like Huberman thing he said?" And I'm like, "Dude, this guy's job is to create content. There's not that much interesting stuff to say. Like even for this podcast that we prepare for, we do it once a week. I'm like really having to do some like deep research to try to find something interesting to talk about because it's like otherwise, you just have to make stuff up. And I'm like, that's what I feel like a lot of these health podcast influencers are doing. And once you've seen behind the veil, it's like Wizard of Oz, where you're like, oh, I realize that like you're just now in the media business. You're just creating stuff to talk about because you have nothing left to talk about. And how many times can you talk about like the things that actually work, which is like sleep and nutrition and whatever, or like business is the same way. It's like, how often could you talk about just like, hey, you just got to wake up and do the work and like find a
yeah.
problem, solve it, find a problem, solve it, find a problem, solve it. And that's why I always appreciated Gary Vee in the beginning was because he was willing to just say the same thing on repeat. And whether you don't like that, and like his comments are always like, oh, Gary Vee has just been saying the same thing. It's like, yeah, of course, because he's trying not to make something up that doesn't actually work because
Yep.
he has enough integrity to say, I'm not going to give you a bunch of info and say a bunch of stuff that doesn't work. And so I'm just going to keep on saying the exact same thing in different ways to make you realize that there's just one way to work. It's like, and that's what I love.
And it's funny because I actually had rage bait as one of the topics, um, because I think that rage bait and like trends and stuff on social media, I think a lot of businesses fall into that stuff where they're like, "Oh, this is what we got to do to grow our account." But it's like, man, if you're a service based business, why would you that serves people in your area? Why would you care about growing in that way? Like it can't really help you. And when I see people doing like let's do a TikTok dance in our clinic or some shit, I'm like, there's a guy who always says like that's how you need to do social media. I'm like, I mean, what is your metric? Do you want to make money? Do you want to help people, or do you want to have a more followers? Like it doesn't add up to me. So what I do like though that I think you should try, and I would love to someday. I love like these little businesses that like follow, they make like their employees the stars and they follow them around doing the work. Like I said, like there's this pizza shop, this guy, he always makes these specialty pizzas. He's just a kid that works there. But I'm like, dude, if I ever go to where this is at, I'm gotta try that pizza. So I think there's opportunity there, but they're not like the kid's not dancing or he's not like filming rage bait stuff. So I think you really got to question again your metric when you're working on social media.
Well, dude, this is classic X behavior right here. I'll give you an example of a post I saw the other day. This whole thing with Jimmy Kimmel getting fired. I'm not going to talk about whether that's good or bad. This woman posted a comment or posted a post on X and said, "Let's see if my chili dog can get more views than Jimmy Kimmel because like he gets 130,000." She's like, "Oh, he only gets 132,000 views per show," and it got like the chili dog got a lot of views. But I'm like, that's the prime example of like a TikTok viewer is not equivalent to a YouTube viewer, which is not equivalent to a podcast viewer. I would rather have 10 podcast listeners than 10,000 TikTok viewers
Right.
because the people who are viewing that chili dog are not going to do anything for you. And by the way, an impression, like is what you're calling a view on X, is like someone scrolled past your chili dog. They might have been like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And now you're counting that as a positive view. And I really don't believe that like there is no such thing as bad publicity. I'm like, in today's day, we now know that is very, very false. Like you
Yeah.
can get bad views. And like at the same time, like it's fun. Like you show the other side of your employees and stuff, but it's like the minute you start doing TikTok dances, it's like you've lowered the seriousness in your credibility. And so if you're in a credibility based business, I'd way rather have, on our high def page right now, 3,200 followers. It's like those are way more quality follows, people who chose to follow us because we don't do any like engagement tactics and this and that. It's just purely consistently posting advice. And like we've set up a team now that posts 1 to 2 times a day sometimes. And we've done it consistently over time. Like we have 1,211 posts right now as it sits at the time of this airing. And that takes a long time to post, right? That's if you post every day, that's 4 years straight of posting every single day. And that's a long time to just like go through and post and post and post. But that's the consistency. And it's like I like this quote. I was listening to a podcast recently. It was like the company with the most success is the one with the most iterations. And it's basically like that's like social media, but it's like iteration means good iteration, right? Like iteration implies that you've made some sort of positive change to your product or your whatever. It doesn't just mean you've posted the most. It means that slowly over time you've made incremental improvements. And I feel like that's what we did with our business was just like, and people get upset within our organization for a while about it, where it was like, oh, we're changing too much, too fast. Oh, we're getting whiplash. You're moving this. It's like we're iterating. We're still in the design phase. We are not in the polished product, like yes, we're go to market because we're selling product or we're selling services to people out there, but we're not a polished gem, and we never will because we continue to adapt to the environment and to the market. But like that's the same thing I feel with social media is like, and that's why the content quality has gone downhill because people are looking purely at impressions and views. But it's like you see that like that doesn't, if it doesn't lead to a business metric, like these folks that have 20,000 followers but have no like business driven off of that, we've built a, you know, probably a 15x bigger business than people that we know that have, you know, 50,000 followers with 3,200. And by the way, we haven't had that. Like in the past year, we probably gained 1,000 or 1,500 followers. So it's like it's really it's a vanity metric and it doesn't lead to business success. And far too many people spend too much time on social media and doing that. Where I'm like, if you own a service-based business, you should be beating the streets and becoming a local hero within 3 to 5 miles of your clinic. And like
Your address book should be your social media content. Just start sending tips to your whole address book.
For the high def page, man, I don't care if we have a follower. I would rather not gain a follower that can't like come and interact with our business. It doesn't matter. Like it literally doesn't matter to us. Like, great. I'm glad you're following us and finding some success and like, you know, whatever. And like PTs like follow our account and that's different, right? They may come and work for us someday. But man, it's like people are so focused on the wrong metrics. And if anyone just took a step back and was like, is it good that someone in Minnesota who lives there and has never been on a plane in their life followed my page when I'm a brick and mortar services business that requires you to be in my company, in my clinic to it's like, if the answer is no, then don't like spend time. It's fine. Have it as like a side thing. That's the cherry on top. But it's like, go out and do the real work.
And by the way, the amount of people that I see on a daily basis that I know I'll look at my likes, did not like a post or make a comment, but bring up the post to me, to my face. I'm like, why would I count these metrics, dude? Everyone's seeing this shit. And I'm not hating, like if they don't like it, whatever. I don't care. I'm still gonna post it because I know it, like people notice. And that's really how I see it now, is like I just post stuff so people notice, and more like an email list, you know, like getting updates out there and letting them know what we're doing and just like crafting the message of high def. But again, there's so many people that don't like the post, whether they just forget to or they're like reading it or whatever, that still notice what we're doing. And that's way more worth it than getting some likes from people in Minnesota, you know?
Yeah, and it's cool because I like it because it's a game where you're like, oh, you see the follower count. It's like 5-star reviews, which, by the way, you would be way better if your 5-star review count was higher than your follower count on Instagram. I would almost guarantee, I would guarantee that you're going to have greater success in a brick and mortar business. Like, I mean, dude, I was looking at your cousin's garage door business. Have you looked at his Google reviews?
Like, dude, good or bad?
Oh, so good.
Oh, really?
Dude, he has over 1,000 reviews with a 5-star rating.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was like, when I went and checked that, I was like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. Like this guy's just silently building probably a SEO machine over there, dude. I actually should take his website and put it through like SEMrush or something. Cause I was looking at his company and I was like, see, this is the kind of guy who could build a business kind of quietly, probably just does a ton of great business and just like
probably more reviews than social media followers. That's for sure.
For sure. And I bet that suits him way better because when someone like me goes and looks at it, I actually used it when I did the proposal for his work to our landlord. I like screenshotted that business with all those reviews and
Oh,
5 stars. I
nice.
was like, hey, by the way, this is who we're getting to do the work. So if you're worried about us paying for a quality service, like here it is. Like, this is the top person. And so like that's a great example of like he owns a garage door company that services and installs commercial and residential garage doors. Give him a shout out. What is it?
Sound
Sound
door
doors.
services.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sound door
he
services.
doesn't need to be dancing around. Like, do good work and make sure they recognize you. On
Yeah. Well, it's like my electrician who came in to do the electrical work. He was like, "Yeah, I got 12 crews, so that's two guys a piece. So there's a journeyman and an apprentice. So you got 24 people. Each one of those guys is probably like each one of those crews is billing a couple $1,000s a day for sure in electrical because electrical's not cheap. Like my quote was $1,700 for probably a 4 hour job or a 3 hour job. And he's like, I don't do any advertising. It's all word of mouth, and it's like we just do good work. People love our integrity, and and when things are wrong, we fix it. And it's like, yeah, like I got his referral from my sister, and now he's done 5 different jobs for me. And now, like, what do you know? I own a business that needs commercial electrical, and he's in the business. Like, it's like all of that stuff starts to spiral. But the one thing that you can't forget is like no amount of social media followers for us would ever be able to outpace a bad service. And so it's like the number one thing, you have to keep it the number one thing. It's like I've thought about that over and over again because it's so easy to get the woman in the red dress where it's like, oh, we should do this, oh, we should do this. But it's like the main product of physical therapy needs to be good, which means we have to educate our PTs and we have to keep them very happy. Like people just need to generally be really happy and enthusiastic. And it's like, I don't know, like this is just coming into my head now. What do you think? But it's like, it's almost like when you start to notice the vibes of a clinic going a little bit lower, it's like you should do almost a marketing push internally. It'd be like, hey, let's like boost the vibes. Let's do a lunch. Let's do a coffee. Let's do it. Like, you got to keep your thumb on the pulse and be like, hey, vibes are a little bit low. Let's put some effort into boosting the vibes as well. And I think that would probably go a long way.
you gotta you have to like always keep things fresh is what I've noticed. That's like even something like a review challenge just kind of changes things, right? Because you're talking about something different. You're like competing, like little things like that. I think it's what the gym industry, like Orange Theory and stuff, has done well. Like they've got their set. This is the challenge of the month. We're doing this, and now then we're gonna do a triathlon in the gym, and then you just on to the next thing, on to the next thing. Because otherwise, people are like, maybe I should try out a different gym. I kind of been doing this forever. Um, Again, it works well, and I think that you have to start to. It doesn't have to be that corny, but you have to kind of start to plan that out of like, how do I keep this thing fresh, so that someone doesn't think like, let me try something new. You're always just the one providing something new, and I don't want it to be like this like circus, like we're like, fuck, we gotta come up with this new thing every 2 weeks or whatever. I don't think you want to get there, but you should have ways to just freshen things up.
Yeah, for sure. And like, you know, that review challenge, it's like it always amazes us when we do something like, hey, let's see which office can get the most Google reviews. Cause then it's like you end up getting more than you got in like a year in 1 month. And it's like anything you shift the focus to gets worked on and improved, it seems. And like it's like if you just had a metric that you were trying to drive and you had we've screwed up some of these where it's like, that wasn't a fun one. That was just a lot of pressure and it didn't actually result in like some fun. But
Yeah.
it's like indirectly we're trying to get leads. And so how do we get leads? Well, we need to boost SEO. And how do we boost SEO? We just get a bunch of 5-star reviews. And obviously there's a lot of other things you do with SEO as well. But it's like if you have a metric and you can find something fun to tie that like maybe is a lagging metric of that metric, like, or a lagging activity where it's like 5-star reviews doesn't equate to immediate boost in SEO, but long term it does. And so if you could keep on like stringing together ideas that like are fun and engaging for your employees or for your customers that boost the long term success of your metrics, that's like a gold mine.
You know what I think it is about the review challenge? Because I had patients talk to me about it, and they thought it was fun. So I think that's a part of it. Is like some of those challenges that kind of flopped had no patient involvement, and I think that's a way to think about things. Is like the patients were like, "Yeah, I want you guys to win. Let me help you out," and like they were laughing about their competitiveness and all the jokes going back and forth. So I think that's a big hit because that's another thing. It's also not like we've done challenges that flop in the clinic. We're like, dang, that wasn't fun at all. Like even like the wellness thing, it was fun for some, but some people like completely ignored it. So I think you got to really like figure out something that gets everyone involved, which kind of segues to my next topic, which I thought you were going to bring up, but you did not.
Let's see if it's on my list.
The Bananas were in town this weekend.
I didn't do it.
Wow. Talked about it all weekend, but forgot about it today.
Probably got the most boring business in the world on my list, so I might just leave this off now.
We can't go downhill after this.
For sure.
Well, that's. I'm like still amazed. Like, why? Why are these guys selling out stadiums 2 nights in a row out here? And one of the things they talked about was they get the fans involved. Like that was one of their main differentiators. Is like I didn't know this. If a fan catches a foul ball, it's out. Did you know that?
Yeah, I have seen that. It's crazy.
That's wild.
It's such a sick rule.
So then you're like, dude, let's like you're like pumped about the fan that caught it. You're like,
You have to watch the whole time too, because if you're
every
the guy
foul ball.
if you're the guy on the jumbotron who drops the out,
Exactly. I'm like, wow, what an interesting way to go about it. But yeah, I think some of the lessons from them was like we talked about the law of category, 22 immutable laws of marketing. Like they didn't try to become a secondary MLB. They're like, we're gonna do our whole other league, and that's why I think like, remember the XFL? Like when they first started, they were kind of trying to be like, it kind of was like this. They're trying to be outlandish, but they just tried to be too much like football. Like I think they had to go even crazier. Like it should have been like WWE, like scripted, but football, and maybe they would have been better. Like you break out into a wrestling match halfway through or something. Like they just tried to be too
staged fights and stuff like
exactly.
Hockey. Yeah,
they tried to be too much like the NFL, and that's why they failed. Whereas the Bananas are like, dude, we're a joke, but it's fun.
Yep.
And they have talented guys.
Yep. Well, like a league like that would be fun where it was like incentivized to like take big shots. It's like, hey, if you have a touchdown outside 40 yards, it's going to be like way more points. So you just get people like doing Hail Marys, like it's almost like if you turn Blitz, the old game, into a football league, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Or get like Jamarcus Russell who throws 80 yards. Like he's a star now because he's just bombing it. But they also did the law of opposite, which is like everything that you hate about the MLB, they're like, we're just going to do the complete opposite. We're going to make it fast. Remember MLB's whole issue of social media. They were against it. We're just going to be all highlights. We're going to destroy social media. They're all about the classic tradition. We're going to go the complete opposite, make it crazy. People are twerking. The umpires are twerking, like they don't care. So I think those are some things they did well. And I was thinking about like, what can you take away for them, for your business? And one thing that, I don't know if we ever want to go as over the top as them, but I was thinking about like the strength tests already are kind of like a show in the clinic, with the people yelling. I think we could even do something crazier about like the setup of the station or something. You could have like a cool, and then it's like, hey, do you want this on video? Like, this is gonna be crazy. Like, I think if we started posting those videos, people would. I bet they would go somewhat viral if people saw that shit. You see someone with the smelling salts, everyone's yelling at them. Like, they'd be like, "What the hell PT is this?" Like,
I think it'd be a great idea. I think if we should pilot it, test the test on one person because yeah, you're right. Like, because they're pushing so hard, you got a PT just yelling. It's like, whoa, that's a weird. This is physical therapy. Like that. That would be like kind of jaw dropping.
hmm
We should test that with Colby. We'll
yeah,
do it one day. We'll do like
yeah.
a full setup and strength
We
test. All that
we should do some type of like graphic around the area that we want to do it, or even like a posted sign, that you could just put up real quick, like testing in progress, or like just something crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a great idea. Cause like that's the thing is like, what is the thing in your business that's the spectacle that you could just emphasize where it doesn't have to change your whole product. It doesn't have to be like every PT session is like wild and crazy and whatever, but it's like, hey, we have this one thing where the strength test is still serious, but it's like we have a professional looking setup and we've now like Instagramized it or like, social media like boosted that, the look of the background, like all that kind of stuff. I think that's a great idea. It'd be sick if it was like one of those meters where it's like a visual, like a TV with
yeah,
the, like I mean, honestly, you could just put the tin deck up on a TV and you could be
for
like,
sure.
push. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
Dude,
cool.
I guarantee we'd get so many people like hitting us up just to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, speaking of the Savannah Bananas, I was just Googling it real quick because I'm just trying to figure out how much money they make. Like, what was the average ticket in Seattle? I'm looking at the like retail tickets are like 35 to $60 is like average. I bet
Oh
they
yeah.
make what like $4 million on tickets, but then they sell probably a bunch of merch. Like, dude, everyone after that game that I've seen has Bananas shirts on.
I saw two people in the clinic yesterday with hats on. I
Yeah.
was like, this is crazy,
Yeah,
dude.
dude, they sell merch. They're like WWE in that way where they sell a lot of merch. But I was just reading this article in 2025 August. They went to Charlotte, and the city of Charlotte estimated that they generated $38.6 million in economic impact in just 2 days because the baseball team drew 148,000 attendees over the 2 days, including more than 54,000 out of town visitors. So, dude, think about 54,000 people coming to a town and um like buying hotel like renting hotels and all this stuff. And so the crazy thing is cities pay for people like this to come. Like they want you to come. They'll court you like, "Hey, we'll pay for the stadium rental. Like you just come. Like we need the economic impact of
Yeah.
$38 million, so it's worth it for us to invest 500K to like, rent the stadium or whatever." It's pretty crazy cuz like that like a company like that can just come somewhere and just have such a massive impact economically. Of course, that like anyone in any city is gonna be like, yeah, let's for sure have it. Because imagine all the people who came from out of town, from Canada, from Oregon, from Alaska, to come to the Seattle Savannah Bananas.
Well, because that's what they did well, right? It was forever they only did it in Savannah, and it was like people were traveling to go to that thing, and then, like you said, they built up enough following where cities are like, dude, we need you here, and then you're just getting way more.
Well, I think they realized they couldn't fill the seats because they couldn't get enough consistent people to travel. I think now at the size they are, they could actually just do way more shows in Savannah and have their own stadium. I don't know. Do you know if they have their own stadium in Savannah?
Yeah, I thought so.
They built one.
Yeah, Izzy went out there, dude, and went to it.
Yeah, so I guess like the great thing is they can still drive a ton of business um for their city of Savannah, and now it's like I'm sure it's a spectacle just to be like, hey, it was really cool to see them in Seattle, but now I want to go see them at their home stadium where like everything is designed exactly for Banana
Yeah,
Bowl. It looks like they're in like some sort of like historic stadium. It's pretty small.
yeah,
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
really small looking. Grayson Stadium.
It's also interesting. I saw a story about one of the players. He was like this top rated MLB prospect and got injured, and then just couldn't cut it in the majors. But he's got a ton of talent and skill, and he's like one of their stars now. And it's like, yeah, that's
What's that
perfect
guy's
for
name? He
you.
has a huge YouTube following. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
He
and
has a
and so
huge
it's
YouTube
like
following.
there's a lane for it. It kind of reminds me of, remember and one
Yep.
basketball, kind of the
Yep.
same, right? Where it was like, that, yeah, they're playing, but you're gonna see some crazy stuff and crazy ball handling stuff, and I think uh I think they're probably. Do you think they're just as big or bigger? And one was pretty big back in the day.
Yeah, they have the benefit of like the
They
social
had a
media.
video game, dude.
Yeah. No, and they had clothing lines and all sorts of stuff. I think and one was probably bigger, but they're going crazy, man. I mean, so their stadium does 5,000 fans. So when they do something like Mariners at T-Mobile 47, like that, those are big shows for them. It kind of makes sense. Like the home shows, I guess, are a little bit smaller, but I'm sure it's an electric product out there, like because they've just refurbished the whole stadium to fit their thing. Good for them, man. It's crazy. Like it's impressive. If you look at that guy's story, like they're pretty close to going out of business.
The banana guy.
Yeah.
I forget his name,
I can't
but
remember the guy in the yellow suit. He's just
yeah,
like a man of the people too.
I think that's his handle too. It's like the yellow suit guy or something.
Yeah, yeah. It's awesome what they've built. And again, you're not going for baseball specifically. You are going for, and they call it something else. They call it banana ball.
Yeah.
You're going for banana ball, and it's like you're not coming here hoping for baseball. The other thing they do really well, and I saw, did you see who they brought out in Seattle at that show?
You told me that Jamie Moyer and Walter Jones too.
I didn't tell you that, but yeah, they so
Oh,
but they actually had James Paxton come out and pitch an inning.
oh really?
Yeah, he struck someone out, dude. He's still got some gas, dude. But yeah, so they'll do that where they'll have like a legit star. Like I think I've seen Bryce Harper bat against these guys. I've seen like they'll bring out like some like current MLB guys. They'll bring out like whatever they'll hit for like one inning. It's like a guest celebrity appearance. It's almost like the equivalent of like a music artist bringing out someone in their city.
A
You know,
local, yeah.
you go to Toronto and you bring out Drake on stage. It's like that's the kind of thing. It's like you bring out some star, and it draws even more people, and it's just like it adds to the allure of going to the games because you never know who you're going to see as like a guest appearance.
Is it like Harlem Globetrotters type, or is it actually, like, are they actually playing, or is it more staged?
I would say there's no one who knows the records of these teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So it kind of is the Globetrotters, right? Like
Yeah. The
that's kind of
goal is to score as many runs and have as many crazy things as possible. If they were trying to win in certain ways, and again, it's like inning by inning, like I don't know that you would go to their league and be like, "Oh my God, the Savannah Bananas are at the top of the table right now." It's just like, you know, I don't think it's that way.
yeah, you're just looking
And
for
some of these other teams are now getting pretty big, and I don't, man,
really.
I don't know. Did you do any of this? Research? Do they own all of the different teams in their league?
No, I didn't see that. I saw that they estimated they were going to make over 100 million this year.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
is
so
that the team or is that the league?
Banana Ball Championship League. Yes, there's only 4 teams, so there's no way they care about whatever. Um, they say they're gonna expand 2 new teams in 2026. But yeah,
Oh,
some of these other teams are pretty popular. So they have the Savannah Bananas, the Party Animals, which are I think they've actually become pretty popular. You've got the Firefighters, who they played in Seattle, and then the Visitors now serve as an opponent for the Party Animals and the Bananas in games where other teams when the other teams faces the Firefighters. So like there's like a visitors team that's just like everybody's against, I guess, and then the Texas Tailgaters. So they're slowly expanding some stuff, but I think it looks like the guy who owns Savannah Bananas, or the company who owns Savannah Bananas, also like owns all of the teams. It's kind of like the XFL or whatever that league is now called, that The Rock owns. Like, they own all the teams, and that's the difference. Is like, it's not a franchise model,
Yeah.
which is hard, I think, in a competitive league. So you almost have to make, like, if you're going to have a non-franchise model of a sports league, you can't make it competitive.
No, it's got to be just like the WWE, you know, like where it's a show.
Yep. Yep. Well, they're crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. Good for them. It's fun. I mean, I got to go to a game someday. Like, you know,
Seriously.
it's like one of those things you have to experience. And it seems like the people who like go to one and they get hooked on it. And like every time they come, you know, it's like they really want to go just because
Well,
it's like so unique.
it's like that law of hype too. Like I would have never thought I'd be interested in going until I heard that everyone was going, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I
Yeah.
am missing out on something.
Yep. And the commissioner is named Jesse Cole. That's the guy in the yellow suit, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. How many
yeah.
followers?
He's been on a lot of podcasts, but he always wears that suit.
They've got
I wanna-
483,000.
I want to say Rogan might have even had him on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. Good for them. I think that's it, man. I think
You don't want to bring up?
I'll hold my boring business topic for another day.
Yeah, I think that's solid.
Good. That's the pod.